1 year ago, you said that you could walk, you could go shopping, you could go to the movies, and you could walk around without anybody bothering you. What's it like now?
It's a little different now. It was that way then, except that it's hard when you are able to do that for so long, and then all of a sudden you can't go anywhere without being recognized. I just refuse to become this prisoner of my own fame. I like the fact that I am who I am, and that I know who I am, and that I am a human being also. And I like going out. I like breathing the air. I like going out and seeing how people walk through the mall and how they, how they laugh and what they laugh at. And I like driving. I like all the things that everybody else likes to do. So therefore, it's difficult. Don't get me wrong. It's very difficult that I can't go anywhere without being recognized. But I can go when I choose to go. I am a person, so I can do basically what I choose to do if I choose to do it.
Do you think that things have gone too fast? Would you like to sort of turn the clock back, like a bit slower?
I think sometimes I would want things just to stop for a moment. Just stop, just for a moment. And when I'm feeling that way, I know that it's time to stop, and I stop everything. I don't want to deal with Whitney. I don't want to hear about Whitney news. I don't want to hear about Whitney's records. I don't want to hear about anything Whitney is doing. And that's when it stops for me. My parents were very wise in letting me grow up, and I had a childhood. I was a child, and I did all the things children do. And I was a teenager, and I got in trouble, and I got hollered at, and I got beatings, for doing things that I shouldn't have done. I wasn't this, child that was just kept in this bottle and, oh, you're going to be a star, so you have to live like this. I did all the normal things that children do. And like I told you, it was my decision to become this entertainer. I was about 13 years old, and I decided that I wanted to sing professionally and to make the transition from gospel music into singing, Well, I wanted it to be my career, It's just when I decided that this is what I wanted to do. And from there, my mother sort of took me by my hand, and she said, okay, since I know, better than anybody, and what better teacher to have, but, it's me. And we went to the studio, and I started doing sessions and working with various artists. And then on the weekends, I would work with her at nightclubs. And it was sort of a good way to getting my chops, so to speak, and that's what we call it in the States. And learning my profession, and still I maintained going to church, I still was singing gospel music, and that is my love, my love. And, that's basically how I started. And then one day, I think when I was about 16 years old, I was with my mother in New York, and modeling came into the picture. I was viewed by this guy who just saw me, and he asked if I was interested in modeling, and I said, well, yeah, okay, fine. And
where did he see you?
He saw me in Carnegie Hall, at the Carnegie Hall building. And we were going to see someone there, and he saw me, and he asked me if I would go upstairs to this new modeling agency, that they were looking for someone like me. And my mother said, what the heck, let's go. And I went, and they loved me, and they signed me, and I started modeling. And then when I graduated from high school, because I couldn't do anything really as far as singing was concerned, as far as signing contracts, until I graduated high school.
Your family is very important to you.
My family is my foundation. This is a crazy business, and a lot can happen to one in this business. And if you don't know quite who you are and who loves you and cares for you, you can get quite lost. And it's important that family, to me, maintains the same kind of love and care that they had for you before you became the star.
Your mother, Cissy Houston, is a well-known singer in the States. Your cousin is Diane Warwick, and Aretha Franklin is also a friend of the family. Did they discover your talent before anybody else did?
My mother, I think, knew because of my singing in church. I think she was more aware of it first than I was. She recognized the fact that I did have a good voice. I think she waited to see what I was going to do with it. She didn't want to push me or force me into doing something that I didn't want to do. But it was my decision to become a singer, and because she knew it so well and she knew the business so well, it was just not about becoming a singer, but learning the business and that aspect of singing. It's important to know that also. So she did. She recognized it first, and I said, well, okay, that was it. My mother was a bit apprehensive about it because she knew the dangers of being in the business, and she always says, I never wanted you to be in this business, but it was what you wanted to do, and you had the talent to do it. And she also says to me, if you could not sing, if you didn't have the kind of talent that you had, I would have never let you become a singer. I would have, told you and recognized other talents in you that maybe you had. Because it's no good when you just want to go out there and to do something because somebody else does it. It's not, it's not good for you. And Mom sort of knew. She was, very smart. My parents knew, and they didn't let me go so early as to when you become a child star, and then you're very confused when you get older because you don't know what it is that you really want to do, and usually there's always something else that you want to be or do. So I kind of took my time with it, yeah. But Mom recognized it. I was taught that in my rearing from my parents that you can't love anyone unless you love yourself. And no matter what, your dislikes, there's a lot of things that we may not like about ourselves. There are a lot of things that we may not exactly love about ourselves. But through all of it, we still have to live with ourselves every day. We have to eat with ourselves. We have to sleep with ourselves. So if you don't love yourself, then who's going to love you, And I think that is a message within itself. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love. And it's difficult sometimes, because I think we're our own worst enemy. And then again, we're our best friend. So it's a difficult thing. You have to sort of, balance it out to, to the degree of you knowing that you know yourself and you're pretty content with yourself, And when you can love yourself, then you can love everybody else.
So where are you going from here? How far can you get?
It seems like there's no place else to go. That seems to be the question now for me. Where do you go now? There are movies in mind that I'm thinking about doing. I really want to take my time with that because that's a different avenue of self-expression. And I want to make sure that I'm really prepared for it, that I can really do it. And everybody else seems to think I can, but I know that I can, but I want to really, really feel that I can. And at some point, I'd like to just settle down and just have some children, get married, and live that life and dedicate myself to other people,
I understand that if you have a good voice, you can sing, but where did you learn how to act on stage and perform and show your emotions?
Well, it started with me in singing gospel music in church. My mother always said to me, if you don't feel what you're singing, and if you don't sing from your heart, then there's no need to do it. People will feel if you reach down in your soul and present it as such. When I started to work with my mother on the weekends, it sort of gave me time, and that was my practice stage to see if I really could not only sing but deliver the song and help other people to feel what I'm saying. So that was the time that I had to practice. I spent a lot of time working with my mother, many years before I just popped up and became this, the star. And that's where I learned it. That's how I learned how to do this, watching my mother and watching Dion and, being around all these great voices. It was a privilege.
So you're never afraid of showing your emotions?
Oh, I was. At one time, I was deathly afraid of it. I was very scared and very nervous about it. It's something that you have to reach down in yourself and sort of become just unafraid, to saying, well, either I'm going to... You can't sing a song without expressing it, without feeling it yourself, and then other people will feel it also. So I went to that stage of, oh, I'm so afraid and I don't want to do this, and what do people think of me, and, if I get too lost in my emotion, then I may not, you always go through that, but you sort of pull it out of yourself, and there it is.